Okay. Good morning and welcome to InNewcastle. And today we've got a very exciting guest, BAFTA breakthrough artist, viral sensation, star of Live at the Apollo, and just generally an openly honest and hilariously funny comedian, Luisa Omielan. Now, just want to say hi and welcome to the podcast show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I even
No,
surprised and I'm not ready. I've just got out of the shower and I thought
yeah, we
about this. So yeah.
yeah, we discovered this morning that Louisa wasn't quite expecting this,
Oh, thank you.
nor was she expecting it to be on camera either. So
So
we're
what
appreciating.
about? But yeah, we're
But
here.
she looks wonderfully beautiful anyway. So here we are. So we're here to talk about your new show,
Yes.
Bitter. But I always like to rewind it a lot, and just to find out kind of where comedy started, for yourself those many years ago. So what got you into comedy in the first place?
I started when I was 19. I started because I really wanted to. I always loved doing comedy, whether it was a sketch or whether it was an improvisation or anything. And then when I was younger, I'd see like people stand up and telling jokes, but I didn't realize that was called stand-up comedy. Like I didn't realize that was the name for it. And I wanted to go to university to do comedy because it was the kind of time where if you got a degree, you'd get a good job, and I couldn't afford to go to drama school. So I was like, well, how can I try and do drama, but you know, not have drama school
Yeah.
fees. So I went to university and Salford had a module, a stand-up comedy module, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go there and do it at Salford. So I started when I was 19, and I'm 41 now, so I've been doing it for quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And over that time, did you have any kind of comedic inspirations that kind of led to your style or influenced you?
I really love like American 80s greats. Like I loved Robin Williams, Steve Martin, Whoopi Goldberg, Eddie Murphy, like all these guys. Like I just thought they were phenomenal and so funny. Like I love 80s comedy films.
Mm,
There's
yeah,
they don't make them like that anymore. Like they're
mm,
so funny.
that's
Um,
it.
so they
You
were
mentioned kind of Eddie Murphy, and he's bringing back Beverly Hills Cop, which would be quite
yeah,
good. I
I
think
hope
there
it's
was a trailer that
is and
dropped.
cheesy and everything else. Like it's so ridiculous. And so was it Sergio, the guy that works in the art gallery, that's like really like just fabulous. Like yeah.
Right. And over your time of making comedy, from when you first started, do you think your style's changed a lot in terms of kind of how you deliver it, or
That's a good question. I think the content's definitely changed. I think the style, what happens is the longer you do it, the more comfortable you get being yourself. So the style
Mm,
is the same, I think, as when it was when I first started. I'm just more confident and secure in it now.
no,
But the content evolves and changes, yeah.
that's it. And obviously, your first tour, what did Beyonce do? Kind of
What would
became
you
a
do?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
became like a kind of just a massive kind of
Yeah.
hit. Is that something that you kind of expected, just in terms of the reaction from it?
No, I know. I just really believed in it, and that show actually kind of shaped the culture of stand-up shows
Mm,
in the UK. Was part of it. It was a part of a load of shows that kind of shaped and changed how solo shows were perceived. Because at the time, it was really frowned upon by like
mm,
industry experts. Like it was like this is not comedy, this is not comedy, but audiences would go wild for it. And that
yeah.
kind of heart on your sleeve party anthemic show then was like yeah, it was born.
No.
I'm very proud of that show. Like, it's a beautiful show. You can watch it on YouTube now still. Like, it's still available. But yeah, it was a really wonderful time. But it's a long time
No.
ago now. 2012 that show came out.
It makes you start thinking back. But
Yeah,
is it you mentioned there like it kind of shifted culturally the way it
yeah.
shows were. So is it good to be able to kind of say that you were part of that as well?
It is. It would be nice if I had the money to back it up. That would be nice.
So I wouldn't be able.
But like, I'm really proud of it. Like, I'm really proud of it. And I know that it did that. So, you know, you can't take that, whatever happens, I can't take that away that I'm like, oh, I created something that I'm really proud of and like
Mm,
it's beautiful. So I'm very happy and it was like the best years of my life, I think, doing that show. So
yeah.
yeah.
And throughout all the shows that you've done, do you think there's a balance between obviously you're quite empowering in terms of the comedy that you deliver? Do you think there's a fine balance between kind of the comedic element of kind of delivering jokes and such like that, and kind of portraying a message per se that you're trying to get over to people?
Yeah, I think like my thing has always been laugh and cry, laugh and cry, laugh and cry. Like I like to make
Mm,
audiences laugh and cry, and I've always really enjoyed that. And I think if you're just authentic and true to that, then your message will come through anyway. Like you don't need to hammer home a message. Sometimes just being
mm,
authentic is enough. And I think if you try and find a message to make a show, it's insincere, it looks forced, it looks like shoe wedged in. It's weird.
mm.
Yeah.
No. And do you think, as a comedian, do you worry about, not necessarily you, but like cancel culture in terms of how far comedy can go now, or in terms of kind of when you're writing a show, do you have to think about kind of how it might be received in terms of kind of content?
Not at all, actually, not at all. Like I think like like most comedians, I think, come from a place of love. Like, and I
Mm,
think actually everyone should maybe be worried about cancel culture because in every job, in every industry, and with social media, and I kind of worry for younger generations how they perceive it because it is terrifying how social media,
mm,
can turn on you or whatever, or gossip or rumors or like bullying or whatever. But in terms of content, I mean, I think there's accountability. So if you're going to be a knob online or a knob in your
yeah.
work, then people can say, "Hey, that was knobbish." But
Mm,
but I think that's always been the case. Maybe I don't know.
no.
Yeah, it's just now it's magnetized, isn't it?
No. And through the many shows that you've done over the years, kind of globally, do you have any that stand out particularly to you? Do you have any memorable performances that you think, oh, that was a good one,
Mate,
or
so
better
many.
or worse?
Yeah, just when I first went full time because I was working for a long time and I kept getting like no's and no's and no's and no's and like just people not interested at all. And then I think that just the first few years of being able to perform shows to sold out rooms to like 180 people and get standing ovations, like it was just a magical time. Like it was
Mm,
incredible to feel like, oh, it's been so dark for so long trying to work my way through this, but I really believed in it. And now at
yeah.
the end, I'm like benefiting with the rewards and connecting with an audience um, in a way that actually, you know, if I'd have not followed my heart, I would have never have had that. So,
Mm.
so many, so many, so many, and I think my audiences are beautiful, and they never cease to impress me. Like they always, is that the right way to say it? They never cease to amaze me. Yeah, they yeah, they're really cool. I feel like I'm very lucky in my audiences.
No. You mentioned there about kind of connecting with audiences,
Mm.
with the way you deliver your shows and such, and they're quite interactive and kind of, like you say, kind of atmospheric. Kind of. Do you think that connection? And I've seen on your kind of your Instagram and such like that, you're very open and honest, and sometimes the reaction, like you say, is like you find that many people may feel similar. Do you think it's kind of do you see yourself as a voice, or is it more that you share experiences and you find that many people connect, and that's kind of what kind of may bring people to you in terms of your honesty?
Latter, it's the latter. So I share something, and then when
Mm,
they say they connect, then that makes me feel better. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes, like when there's been some time has passed, and you've had an experience, and time has passed,
mm,
and you can share maybe like a lesson or some wisdom from it, even though you're always evolving and learning. But like sometimes there's a case of that. But mainly it's me going, people go, don't worry, we're in the same boat. You're like, oh, phew, okay, I'm fine. Don't worry about
yeah.
it. Yeah,
I think it's just like anything. I guess when you share something, you find out that you're not the only one. Kind of,
exactly. And it's so
you
much
know.
easier, isn't it, to know you're not alone. So yeah.
That's it. And how long is it? So, Bitter's your new tour.
Mm.
How long has this been in the making?
Well,
Is it
honestly
just
over a decade then, because it's the next show. Like it's, if you think about, like if I think about each and every one of my shows, they're very of the moment. So they're
Mm,
very of the moment from where I'm at, and it's got to a point where I'm bitter. So right, I'll
so,
put it in a show. Um, and I did it in Edinburgh last year, and it wasn't meant
for
to
the
be a show
fringe.
really. It was just an opportunity to be like, let's just explore these ideas and these feelings, and let's see what happens with it. And fortunately, people seem to really relate and resonate. So it kind of grew and has grown, and now I'm on tour, and I'm coming to Newcastle, the
You
South.
are. You
Yeah.
are.
So I'm really
So
glad about that. So yeah.
you mentioned that it's quite kind of, you think the show's quite current. So I don't, without giving too much away, kind of what's the show about, or kind of what is it that you're bitter about?
I think there's lots of things of feeling like that you worked really hard and you sacrifice everything and what have you got to show for it? That kind of feeling of getting to a point of like, what's the point of it all? And when you see some people have it easier or seem to have it just flows to them, and you're like, I don't understand why I've done the right things and it's not flowing, but like it's not healthy to be jealous, it's not healthy to compare. So you go, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this journey that I'm on then? Like, if it's not working for me, like, what am I doing wrong? But then what do you do if you feel like you haven't done anything wrong? You've just followed the rules. And I guess it's kind of exploring that idea of the social contract being broken, that following the rules for the last few generations may have worked to an extent, but now
Mm.
it's very obviously broken. And what do we do with that?
No,
But it's got
okay.
jokes in. Is that with jokes?
So, there you go. And obviously going around the country and such. So do you have to change it in any way when you're approaching different kind of regional audiences,
No, that's the
or
point.
in its
That's the
sense?
point is that you explore what different people are feeling from different
Mm.
regions. So, no, absolutely not. You don't.
That's
Yeah.
good. And you mentioned there you come into Newcastle, the stand, which I know you've played before.
Yes.
Um,
I haven't been back to Newcastle in a long time. I'm coming back on April 21st. Yeah, April
First, you are
21st. Yeah.
indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
And in terms of the show, so behind kind of in terms of the show, sorry, having written it, kind of comparing to performing it, how do you find the process of writing compared to actually getting out and performing it?
I don't work like that. So I write on stage as I perform. So it's always been performed. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And obviously, like I mentioned, Stan Newcastle. I was on one of your lives as well last week, and you said, "Oh, Newcastle got one of your favourite places."
Yeah.
So yeah, what is it about Newcastle that you find so lovely?
I like when I was younger starting stand up, and I think coming from down south, when I first went to Salford Uni, there was very much this like, oh, do you think, yeah, like, are you from down south, you posh dirt? And I was like, I couldn't understand, like it was just BS, do you know what I mean? Like it was whatever. And then like you kind of learn, whatever to just get on with it. And so I think when I first started touring Northern City, I was like, oh, they're not going to get me. I'm just going to have that same reaction, like, and oh God. And actually, I learned very quickly that it was the opposite. That I was very, felt very much embraced, and like when you're bad, they'll let you know you're bad. Like
So,
democracy, but like when you're good, they'll carry you out. And I just there's an honesty and a truthfulness and a sense of justice um and yeah, maybe just justice. There's a sense of justice with them and a sense of understanding that I get in a lot of cities, like Leeds, like Belfast, like Liverpool, and like Newcastle. It's just it's world class. Like I think it's
mm,
world class, and so yeah, I can't wait to come back and play Newcastle. And also they go feral as well. These places go feral. Like it's really fun.
so,
Like
no.
yeah, the audiences are wild.
That's it. I can relate being a southerner myself from London.
Yeah,
Obviously now I live here, but yeah, it's a wonderful city, and
yeah,
yeah, come to love it. So like people here are genuinely great, friendly, just anything,
yeah,
and yeah, can see why you're looking forward to it.
yeah, very much.
Um, and I know you love a takeaway, and
Yes. Done
you
your
love a bit
research.
of, and you love many different types of takeaway. So while you're in Newcastle,
Yes.
although it's not quite a takeaway, do you visit Greg's?
Do I visit Greg's?
Greg's.
No.
Do you not know Greg's?
Of course I know Greg's.
You know Greg's, but you don't go, do you?
We have Greg's here. Like I've
Yeah,
got Greg's down the road.
I
Yeah,
know.
no.
But do you ever go?
To Greg's.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe last year once I had a sausage roll. Like,
No, there you go.
yeah. Like,
No. So I was going to ask, what's your favourite thing from Greg's? Because if you're a
oh,
Northerner and you're in Newcastle, you've got a Greg's on every corner.
That's
or three in the same
I'm
street.
from Greg's. I really like their vegan sausage rolls, actually. I'm not vegan, but I like
Uh,
their vegan sausage rolls. But I also like their iced donut. They used to do, and they've got smaller and smaller. They used to do like just an ice ring donut, like covered with
no.
and like chocolate stripes. And they used to be massive, and now they're like smaller and smaller. They're my favourite. And they used to be like 30p. Lord knows what they are now, but yeah, probably
So
those.
there we go. So recommendations for Greg's
Yes,
vegan sausage roll.
yes.
So fab. And now you're coming on tour. Your dog, do
Yeah.
you is she left at home or do you just come on
She
tour?
comes with me on the road, so she comes everywhere I go. Bernie goes, yeah. So she'll be coming with me to Newcastle. I'm sure she'll make an appearance. Yeah,
There you go. So you can see Bernie and Louisa in
yeah,
Newcastle.
yeah.
Coming coming to the stand April 21st.
Yeah.
Tickets are still available, so we've got ours. So we're really looking forward to the show.
Oh,
And is there any last messages you want to give the Newcastle public? Um,
just that I love you and you're great, and just keep going because you're the best, and forget everyone else. Come to my show. Fun. Yeah.
there you go. Nice one. Well, thank you for your time today.
No worries. Thank you for
Really
having me.
appreciate that. Thank you.